Hello and welcome on 360 Sport on Trust TV. I'm Adeni Ajishafe. What a night for Nigerians across the globe. Not too happy with the performance of Golden Eaglets as they were burned out by Burkina Faso in that game that took place in Algiers. Welcome here on the show. Well, it's so painful that under 17 AFCON, Golden Eaglets crash out after defeat to Burkina Faso. Burkina Faso actually said it and they did it. Their coach, Ibrahim Traore, was talking tough before the match and they really went for it and they won. They really played our team, Golden Eaglets, who were really bamboozled in that game yesterday. I have in the studio Olawale Peters. Let's do this.
Yeah, good morning, Adeni. It's my pleasure being here. Well, it has happened, and sincerely, I'm not going to blame the players so far. Yeah, I've read a lot of comments on people blaming the goalkeeper for the error. If we have the likes of Manchester United goalkeeper, the guy that made error that is even worse than what
the goalkeeper
that is under 18. So that means he has not even entered adulthood of 18 years old. So they are still on the learning stage. So as far as I'm concerned, that error, it's not something that we should now go all out for him, that it will now demoralize him and the other players. Yeah, we lost the match due to defensive error. But if you analyze the match very well, you'll see that we basically lost the match because of our coach inexperience when it comes to dishing out instruction and telling them what they need to do. Before that yesterday's match, if you look at the analysis, the Golden Eaglets, they were favored to win the competition. Look at shots on goals from all the teams that participated in this under 17 competition. Nigeria will have the highest shots on goals with 81 shots on goals, followed by this Senegalese team with 70 shots on goals. Then followed by Zambia with 60 shots on goals. Go to the ball possession. The Golden Eaglets, they have the highest, 58.7 ball possession, cumulatively, averagely. Followed by Mali, then they have 58. Then followed by the Senegalese team also, they have 56.3. Now, where does it matter most? Goal scoring. From the 81 shots on goals that we had, we only scored 4 goals. Why the Senegalese team, from the 70 that they had, they scored 7 goals. So, based on all this analysis, you can't blame the boys. It is the coach that needs to dish out the instruction, tell them, give them the strategy, the link between the midfield and the attack. If you watch all our games, sincerely, we've been struggling. The boys, they have the individual talent. They have what it takes to do it. So to me, I'm not going to blame the players. Yes, they are not clinical in front of goals. We had the likes of Yakubu Ayigbeni, as experienced as he is.
A sitter, he missed the sitter.
In fact, empty net, just him and the net. We saw what happened. Talk less of under 18. So I think we should be very careful not to demoralize them more than they've done what they could do. And if you look at the two goals we considered yesterday also, it shows that they are not familiar with the tough because they slipped the 2 goals.
That's part of the experience
we're talking about. The exposure we are talking about. So the first goal that led to the keeper's error, the defender slipped. That's what gave the Burkina Faso the opportunity to move from the flank and enter the box 18. Then the second goal that we considered, he also slipped. That was why he didn't body shame the Burkina Faso player. He fouled him. So that was why it was a penalty. So I think what we need to do now is to go back to the drawing board. The first thing we need to look at, this Golden Eaglets, what is next for them after this competition?
Are we keeping them together?
Or because they didn't make it up to the semi-final, we're going to discard them? No. We shouldn't do that. We should have a developmental program for them, that after this competition, this is what we have in stock for them. This is what we need to do for them. That is how we can do what the likes of, look at Senegalese team, for example, now. Talk of under 17, talk of under 20, talk of under 23, even their senior team also.
They are compact.
They are really, really dominating Africa. Even look at the Burkina Faso.
Morocco too.
Look at Morocco also. We have the same Burkina Faso, we have the same Morocco, we have the same Senegal,
Mali
and Mali.
also.
They are going to represent Africa, so they deserve to be there because they are prepared for it. They deserve, that's the truth. We shouldn't talk based on sentiment or emotion that we shouldn't be there if we don't deserve to be there. So Burkina Faso also, by winning yesterday's match, shows that they didn't win the Cameroon team by chance or by fluke.
They deserve it too.
Defeating two former champions, it's not a joke. It's not fluke. So that means they deserve it. So we should come back home, go back to the drawing board, see what do we have next for this golden eaglet. How many of them can we transform into the under 20 or under 23? That is how you need to start it. On under 20 World Cup in 2005 that we lost to Argentina, it was Lionel Messi that scored the 2 goals. He played together with the likes of Tayo, Mikel Obi. Where are they today? Where is Messi today? So that's what we are talking about, because this time around, we really have under 18 that they are real under. All of them, they passed the MRI test. So that shows that they are still within that age. They still have about 15 to 20 years ahead of them. So we should start looking at them. We look at the under 20 also. But what we do in these countries is only when there is competition. We'll be praying that God, oh, let us win. God, other people, they don't have God also. No, you have to work and pray. You don't just pray without working for it. It's like you're looking for a job and you're just sitting down on your bed from morning to night. You say, God, oh, please provide me the job. You don't have CV. You don't go for interview and you're expecting the miracle to happen.
The job.
It doesn't happen that way. So that means we have to start preparing right now. What is very important is the exposure. Most of these boys, some of them, they are entering flight for the first time in their life. They've never entered flight before. So that's the truth. They are playing under that situation for the first time. Before the competition, what have we done to prepare their mindset before the competition, to tell them that this is what is expected of you? As far as I'm concerned, I'll give the boys a pass mark.
Now, while you are giving the boys a pass mark, somebody actually raised a point, and I said, okay, let's talk about it, that the boys seems to be playing individually to some extent, blaming the agents. Guy was trying to blame the agents that were on the pitch watching these lads because they were trying to impregnate. They knew that agents were around, and it was obvious that their performance is more or less of individual than as a team, and that also spelled doom for our game yesterday.
Okay, I'm going to put the blame again on the coach. If you are playing an individual game and not a team game, you don't play as a unit. The first match, I allowed you to play, you did that. Second match, I allowed you to play, you did the same thing. Third match, I allowed you to play, you did the same thing. And the quarterfinal, where it matters most that if you are able to win the quarterfinal, you are going to the World Cup, where you have more agents, you'll be more exposed to other clubs than that, and you allow that as a coach. Come on, it's not the boys' fault. It is the coach's fault. It depends on the pattern or the style of play. Look at the Burkina Faso team yesterday. They play as a unit. Their counter-attack was very, very effective. You'll be asking yourself that, are these people, are they been playing for the past 2 or 3 years? They play together.
As a team.
As a team. In fact, if they are going to mark any of the Nigerian players, they don't go as one. Someone will be there to cover you. In case if you didn't get this, let me try and recover for you. But we don't have that, so you can't put the blame on the boy that because they want to play so that the agent, you can't stop all those agents from going there. And if you're a good agent also, if you're looking for a player to poach, you don't need to look for an individual talent. You look for a player that has a teamwork. So that's the truth. So if that is what they are doing, probably based on inexperience, they are doing that. But I'm not still going to blame them for that. Whatever happened up there, that is why you have a coach. That's why you have a technical team to do what? To dish out, pass out instruction, and give them the strategy. And if you are not playing according, okay, now let's be sincere with ourselves. Are you telling me that the likes of Nduka Ogbade cannot control those boys that they are 17, 16 years old. So what about when you get to Flying Eagles?
Or Super Eagles.
Or Super Eagles. So what right do you now have to control them that this is what I want you to play? If you don't play according to my style, I'm going to remove you. We're going to be in bench. We didn't go with 11 players. We went with about 20 players. So that means for every position, we have a backup. So I think that is also a fault on the part of the coach.
Well, we've been talking concerning Golden Eaglets outstar from the under-17 AFCON by Burkina Faso. Burkina Faso, they said it, and really, they did it. I still remember the coach talking tough that they would know what to do against Nigeria. If you remember, during the Wafu Big Championship, we defeated them 2-1, and now they got their own pound of flesh. Looking at, let's digress a bit, Mali also did well against Congo. Mali ousted Congo by 3-0 in their own encounter there. Congrats to Mali for doing it. Now we have Mali, Senegal, Morocco, and Burkina Faso. I call it the battle of SMMB. But right now, Mali, Morocco. Now, Burkina Faso, Senegal. How do you see that game going to be?
Okay, if you look at the statistic I laid earlier, and I think the Senegalese team, they have what it takes to get to the final. But when it gets to the final, it's anybody's game. So I see the Senegalese team winning the match, and they are more composed, and they are more settled, and they have more confidence in this competition than any other team. Take it or leave it. So to me, I'll give it to the Senegalese team.
Against Burkina Faso.
But this is football. Anything can happen, especially when you are having a derby in the sense that both of you are from West African states. So it can be anybody. It's like Nigeria playing against Ghana. You can't look at your past performance. It is what happened within that 90 minutes that will determine who will take the day. So I think the Senegalese team, they have an upper hand. But Burkina Faso also, having defeated Cameroon, having defeated Nigeria, the two former champions, they have the confidence also. They are motivated that, okay, who are you, the Senegalese team, that you cannot defeat if you have done it to the
defending champion and Nigeria.
The defending champions, that's both
Cameroon
and Nigeria. So why can't we? So it's going to be a very good game. I think the coach win the game for them, depending on their tactics. Like the Burkina Faso coach, he said he knows what to do with the Nigerian team. Sincerely, he did. Because we are not clinical in front of goals, and we are not dishing out instruction on what we need the boys to do. If you look at the first half, the first 20 minutes, we had to have scored at least minimum of 2 goals in that first half, but we didn't do that. So that shows that, okay, we win the possession, we have the shot on goal, but you try and be clinical. Don't waste any opportunity. And that's what really matters most in football.
Really, right now, Mali, Morocco, Burkina Faso, and Senegal representing Africa at the under-17 when they are there. Well, congratulations to all the 4 teams that will be going there. So painful, though they also have in our color green. At times when you look at this, you'll be like, where is the green, white, green among them? You see yellow, you see red, you see star, and all that.
Well, I think also there is this rapid development of football in the West African countries, because you can see the likes of, okay, now we have 4 people now playing in the semi-final, and we have 3
coming from West
Africa. We only have Morocco coming from the North Africa, and that shows that the game of football is really, really, really improving. So if we don't win it as a Nigerian, our neighboring
let's go, at least let's console
ourselves that, okay, one of the West African countries also is going there to represent us. So in whatever the situation is, I think we need to buckle up seriously, because if care is not taken, and we are going to be the sleeping giant of Africa when it comes to football, that they'll be referring to what we've done in the past. And like our people used to say in this country, I get them before. Don't be property. So we have to win it and own it.
Really, we've been talking concerning Golden Eaglets. They fought hard, but their fight wasn't good enough as they actually drop out of that competition right now. They will be coming back to Nigeria soon. But for Burkina Faso, Senegal, Mali, Morocco, and also not taking anything away from Mali. They did well. They deserve to be there. They all fought hard. Congrats to all of them. And from the under-17 AFCON, let's move to talk about Federations Cup. The women also played their game yesterday to at least get their own round of 15 results. We look at teams that played. Although Bayelsa Queens didn't play, the team they ought to play got involved in an accident, so they are Bayelsa automatically. Let's see how it goes for them there. But for Fortress effort, though, they defeated Honey Badgers of Benue 2-1. Heartland Queens of Imo, they actually play into a penalty shootout where Lakeside Queens won 4-2 against Heartland Queens on penalty. Edo Queens 5-0 mauling of Maureen Madu FC of Abia. Robo Queens of Lagos against Royal Queens. It was a walkover, 3-0 there. It seems the Royal Queens didn't show up. Nasarawa Amazons over there in Lokoja defeated Nigeria of FCT 2-1. Rivers Angels 1-0 against Oshun Babes, a battle of the NWFL teams, while Delta Queens went on rampage. They nearly sped Moje Queens 7-0 against the Quarant team. Seriously.
Yeah, what a good match and what a good result. And from what we have here, I think the only surprise we have here is the Lakeside Queen beating the Atlant Queens. Apart from that, we know what Fortress FC they are capable of doing. So winning their match against Honey Badgers, I don't think that's a surprise also.
As people don't know how a Honey Badger would defeat a Fortress.
A Fortress. So, and if you look at the other result also, I don't think there's any surprise in there. And we know River Angels, what they are capable of doing. It's like when it comes to football this time around, the River State, they are highly motivated, both their boys and their girls. You can see what they are doing also. Then for also Delta Queens, then it's what we expect from them. They've been in the NPFL for a very long time, so there's no surprises here. Where we're going to have a real battle, it is after this stage.
The round of 8.
The round of 8. That is when it now really determines who is going to really take. This one is just more like a walkover for most of them to really repackage themselves and work together more as a team. So I'm looking forward to see the draw for the round of 8 to see who will pair who and who will win who and what will determine that.
A big one, Federation Cup round of 16 for women, just showcases the result there. The round of 8 fixtures will be on, and then we'll be bringing you more concerning the ladies who did well and how they will be playing to see who wins the Federation Cup. Away from the Federation Cup, let's quickly run through Europe and look at the two UEFA competitions there. Europa League semi-final. Well, for Roma, 1-0 against Bayer Leverkusen, the coach of a former player defeating Mourinho against Xabi Alonso. And for Juventus and Sevilla, well, when the two kings actually met, one will have to bend. But for the first leg, it's 1-1 now.
Yeah, I actually thought Juventus will go with an advantage to Spain for the second leg, because you know when it comes to Europa, Sevilla, like we all know, they are just like the Real Madrid of the Champions League. It's more like their birthright. They know how to do it. They know how to play. They know how to win it. Their mindset is totally different when they are playing in Europe and when they are playing there
at home.
At home, it's totally different. And their support base at home is massive. If you watch their quarterfinal and you saw, in fact, if you are a player that you've never experienced such before, you'll be jittery. That's the truth.
The support they get from their fans. The support they get
from their fans is seriously massive, and I'm sure they're going to get that also because they are already one step into the final of the competition. So I think the Juventus, they have a lot to do to really scale through, knowing fully that the away goal doesn't matter.
It doesn't work at all this time around.
Is to win. So seeing them winning Sevilla away from home, it will be very difficult. That's the truth. And if we look at this, the
Roma.
The other match, Roma and Bayern Leverkusen, I think Mourinho also showed sincerely that all what he has achieved in his life is not by luck.
He worked for it.
He worked for it, because if you watch the match yesterday, what they played more like, okay, I'm not going to concede and I need a goal. So if you look at the possession, Bayern Leverkusen, they had more possession, 64, than Roma. But if you look at shots on goal and shots on target, the Roma, they had more shots on goal and shots on target than Bayern Leverkusen. And that is why the result is 1-0. Because once you have shots on goals and shots on target and you are clinical, you're able to find the goal in there, you'll be better than your opponent. So going to Germany with that advantage of 1-0, so what they need to play now when they play next week is either a draw or to also win the match, which is not impossible for them to do. I think Roma have been doing very well in Europe since Mourinho came. For the first time in their career last year, they won the Conference League for the first time in their career, and for the first time that they introduced the competition. And right now also they are playing in the semi-final of Europa League, something that they've not done for how many years? They've not even won the competition before.
If they win this, they play Champions League.
Play Champions League, because if you look at them currently right now, they are, I think, sixth or seventh on the log table. So the possibility of them playing in Euro next season will be very difficult, but it's still not over until it is over. They just have about 3 or 4 points difference between them and playing in Europe next season. So the only opportunity for them to play in Champions League next season, just like what this same Mourinho did with Manchester United when he was in Manchester United. Manchester United have never won Europa League before in their entire career. That's the only trophy that is missing in their cabinet. And
he got it
for them. And through that backstage also, he qualified them to play in the Champions League. Probably that is his motive this time around also.
Mourinho is a very
let's see what I can do with the Europa. Let me get the Europa and play in the Champions League. Whatever it's, I think it's a very good one. Then the Italian team, I think they are doing something
wonderful
right this time around. We have them playing in the Champions League. They're going to play in the final because we have Inter Milan and AC Milan. One of them will win, and they're going to play the winner between Manchester City and
Real Madrid.
What do you think will win between Manchester City and Real Madrid?
Let me stand.
I know Arsenal fans, they like to support.
I'm sitting on the fence.
You are sitting on the fence. Exactly. I hope you're not further from that. Okay, so that means whatever happens, we're going to have an Italian team playing in the final of Champions League. Then for the Europa also, we have Juventus and we have
Roma.
AC Roma. So we have 2 out of 4. Whatever the situation is, I see one of them also play in the final. Then for the Conference League also, we have the Fiorentina also that is playing currently the semi-final. I think they drew their match against
they actually for Conference League. Well, Fiorentina didn't start well. Looking at that result there, that Europa Conference League, you see them losing their game, and it's not so good. Looking at the result, let's look at it. They lost against FC Basel yesterday.
Okay, yeah, so that shows that, well, anything can still happen. And the fact that I lost the first match doesn't mean I'm not going to win the next match. So they're already in the semi-final. The possibility of them playing in the final is there. If it's not there, now you have 3 different competitions in Europe, and you have a club for the first time, a club from a particular country playing in all the categories. The Conference League, you have a team representing in the semi-final.
Inter AC.
You have in the Champions League,
Roma
Juventus also. So I think the Italian team, they are back to those glories of the early 90s when the Juve and the Inter Milan of this world and even AC Milan, they are dominating the European Champions League.
Now, while you are talking about that, West Ham United, let's pick it from the bottom. West Ham defeating, they were able to do it against AZ Alkmaar of Netherlands. And you look at West Ham in England, I think they've adopted Sevilla style. Don't do well at home, but make sure you get to do well in Europe. David Moyes has really been outstanding in this competition.
Yeah, he did the same thing last year. Yeah, and he's doing it again this year. And that's why I think they are fighting relegation in the Premier League this time around. So, yeah, irrespective of what happened, they are new to this competition in the sense that they are new to playing in Europe and playing in the league at the same time. So the depth of their squad does not allow that rotation like we have with the Man City,
Real
Madrid, PSG, and the likes of other teams. Maybe as time goes on, if they are constant playing in Europe, that is when they need to increase the depth of their team to know that, oh, okay, we are playing to competition year in, year out. So what we need quality players to be able to represent us in both competition. So as far as I'm concerned, I think they have done very well, and I don't see them being relegated because currently now they are on 37 points. And the last time a team in Premier League got relegated with 37 points was in 2015, 2016. That's Newcastle. Since then up to now, once you get to that threshold of 37 points, you escape relegation. And they are also having 3 matches to be played now. So in whatever the situation is, they can get at least a point or 3 points. So them relegated going into the championship, I don't see that happening for this season. Let's see, maybe they'll bring glory to England by winning an European trophy, because the other team playing in Europe, playing in the Champions League, they have hurdles to cross, and I don't know how they're going to cross that hurdle.
Well, those teams, on a lighter note, maybe those teams are parts of, let me mention them, the likes of Chelsea.
Currently Chelsea is not playing, and I'm talking about Manchester City. Yes,
I'm just trying to be like, okay, let's just say, okay, those teams that play in Europe.
Well, yes, you are right. You said those teams that play in Europe, because the reason why people are always attacking Chelsea.
No, I'm not the people. They said it. I didn't say it.
But you are using their mouth to say it.
We have been attacking Arsenal too.
Okay, the reason why Chelsea normally receive this banter is because, apart from Manchester United, they are the second club in history of Premier League that have won everything. When I said everything, Champions League, Europa, World Club Cup, FA, Premier League.
What a way to go. I give you a clap for that. Good one. We've been talking to Olawale Peters in the studio on Trust TV. The show 360 Sport is being superlative there. Good one for Chelsea fans. Thanks so much for coming on the show.
It's my pleasure being here, Adini.
I'm Adini Ajishafe. Always it's a pleasure to have him around. Really, thanks for watching.